Give me
A keg.
of beer and these.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, or Kevin, because that's my name on the thing. I didn't change it. Yeah, oops.
That's what it is.
It is what it is. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak,
What's up?
and joining us from the Mod Squad Network, Felix.
What's up, yo? Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, not a problem. Today we are going to be reviewing the movie Teen Wolf. But before we get into the movie,
Oh,
let's actually check out the trailer for this movie.
Let's do it.
can still find it. Wow,
Yeah.
impressive.
Oops. Press the wrong
Oops.
button. There we go.
Wow, that is dated, bro.
It is dated.
Holy shit.
I could
love
not
it.
find a really good version.
For Michael J. Fox,
That's
life
the beginning
hasn't
of the
been
movie.
easy.
Wait a minute. This is the first one?
Oh, shut up, Felix.
I'm going through changes.
I watched the one with Jason
Voices
Bateman. What the heck? A beer.
It's a total different voice.
He's got hair on his chest. He stopped being a boy.
What do you think about to get worked up?
At last,
Oh.
he's become
Scott? Scott Howard? This is your father speaking. Now open this door right this minute.
No.
a wolf.
No, Dad.
An explanation is probably long overdue.
Look at me.
Landon.
Look at you.
On my face.
He's always wanted to be something special, but he never expected
I always
this.
love that. You see the handle.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf. He's got style.
There's something different about you. Did you
Woof,
change
woof.
your hair?
He's got class. He's got hair
He's got hair.
over his body.
Wolves aren't supposed to be shy.
He's a wolf in teen's clothing. And tonight is his night to howl. Teen Wolf, a new comedy with Michael J. Fox, star of Back to the Future.
They had to throw that in there.
Yep.
Star of Back to the Future. Filming at the same exact time.
Yeah, basically.
That's so crazy. In 85.
But yeah,
Well, it did open number 2 behind Back to the Future. It opened up in March 25th, 1963. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Surfing USA. I got my notes mixed up. I was going to do the music part of it. Surfing USA is by the Beach
fired.
Boys. Came out March
No.
25th, 1963.
You're fired.
That was the only song on there I saw. I know I was supposed to do the soundtrack part of it.
Mikey the
Sorry.
Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit about this
He's
movie?
killing me. Yeah. Oh shit. I'm sorry. IMDb closed. Oh, I apologize. An ordinary high school student discovers that his family has an unusual pedigree when he finds himself turning into a werewolf. Yeah, the trailer was actually pretty good. It goes
Except
through
for
a
the
lot of
weird
stuff.
voice, you could tell that they edited that after
Oh,
that.
beer.
Yeah,
that
the
was
keg
so
of beer
weird.
was different. I noticed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
even when they pulled the hair out, poink.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like pink. I was like, why the sound effects? That's so funny. No, it's actually a great movie. I mean, Michael J. Fox, pretty much in his prime. Back to the Future, as well as filming Family Ties at the same
Yeah.
exact time. But funny cast of comedians through the whole thing. It kind of shows where a normal kid, like high school student, I guess, picked on, terrible basketball team. The whole school, hates the basketball team. It's terrible.
Oh,
Reminds me of my high school,
The
right?
coach was horrible. The coach was a
Coach
horrible
didn't give a shit. He's
That
like,
was
well,
too-
we suck. So
That was too funny. My door's always open, and then he didn't want to talk about nothing. I'm too busy.
No,
I'm
yeah.
too busy.
Yeah.
But the door's always
Like,
open if you want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you see, I'm a busy man, Scotty. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, that was actually pretty hilarious in that scene. But it's yeah, a bad high school team. He's picked on. He's in love, or he thinks he's in love with, or infatuated with the leading lady, I guess you could say, or the school hottie,
Yeah, the school
the most
hottie. Yeah,
popular girl.
Pamela.
And then of course his villain on the basketball court, of course, would be her boyfriend.
Yep.
Who else could it have been, right?
It was all
Um,
the tropes. All the tropes of the 80s were in
oh,
this movie.
yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
every one of them. Yeah,
So then, yeah, so he finds out that he's a werewolf because basically that's his puberty. Which I thought was, yeah, he hits his puberty and grows hair everywhere, right?
yeah,
Um, I thought it was so funny because they took, and I don't know if this was, yeah, I didn't look into it, but I don't know if this was part of it, but one of those where they took how David Naughton in Werewolf of London turned into the werewolf in the
I'm sure it
I
was
uh,
was
inspired
thinking
by
that the
that.
whole time. I was thinking that the
Very
Yeah,
whole time. Yeah.
inspired by American Werewolf in London with David Naughton in '81.
yeah,
So yeah, not far off. A couple years later, they do the same type scene, and him turning into a werewolf. And of
yeah.
course, isn't as dramatic, or
No,
it's kind of one of it's like, oh, that's not
that's
very
it. Yeah,
scary at all.
The
Um,
nails reminded me of the Michael Jackson from the Thriller too. It kind of
yeah,
gave me
yeah.
a little bit of that.
yeah.
Again,
Uh,
80s vibes, throughout the
Yeah,
whole movie.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it's funny as hell because you look at his father, and his father looks like a furry teddy bear.
He
He
does
don't
look
look
like
like a werewolf. He looks like a
he looked
teddy
more like
bear.
He
he
did.
looked more like an Ewok than he did a
Yeah,
freaking
He did.
werewolf.
Star Wars inspired Teen Wolf now, because Return of the Jedi was '83, so it's pretty
Yeah,
close. Um, so not very scary. The scary werewolves, but yeah, then he turns into the werewolf, and then he has these all super abilities and superpowers and strength and anything that a typical werewolf movie would have them have. You know what I mean?
just in a good way.
In a good way, yeah. So he uses his powers to, become the popular guy in school, make the basketball team go to the championships.
Yeah.
So everything to spin it in the other direction. Then has sex with the lady he's been dreaming of this whole time,
That's true.
which was
You hear the
amazing,
howl? You hear the howl?
amazing.
You hear that?
Oh, so amazing, by the way. But it's funny is like Boof, his best friend, is always been in love with him, no matter who he
Hmm.
was, whether he
You
was
can
the wolf,
tell
whether
too.
he was
You can
Scotty.
tell. Yeah.
An
Yeah,
unpopular opinion, maybe, but Boof was hotter.
I
yes,
agree.
I think Boof was a lot hotter. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. She
Let us
reminded me
know.
of
Let us know.
someone.
There's a
I could
poll.
put
There's a poll. Do you prefer Boof as a brunette or a dark black hair almost, or the blonde, the popular blonde? I would take Boof
Pamela or Booth.
all day long.
I
Yeah,
say
all
Booth.
day.
Yeah,
Boof
I agree with you with that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, turns out he wants to win as
himself.
himself. He
Yep.
Even though the wolf got them there, he's realized that no matter who I am, I need to be true to myself because he was pissing off his friends because they were overshadowing.
A
The
werewolf
werewolf
story
was
with a
overshadowing
whole
everything.
The
yeah, werewolf
friendship and
story
everything.
with a heart. It's a werewolf
Yeah,
story with heart and a
yeah.
moral message.
And then it comes down to it where they beat and they make the championships as himself. And then the credits start to roll and you see the guys dangling. So it's good. It's great
You don't
ending
see the
credit.
dangling. You
I know
don't,
you don't. I had to pause it. I said, "There's no way you see it," and
and you don't.
it's like his underwear or
Underwear.
something sticking
Yeah.
out or his shirt,
You know
like a
what?
long
I
shirt.
Is it a female or a male? First of all,
Oh, it's a
and is
guy.
it
It's a
hanging
guy.
out?
No, it's
No,
not
I don't.
hanging
You
out.
can't
No,
tell it's hanging
you
out.
can't. Yeah,
But it's a huge. It was a huge thing back in the
controversy. It was a big
'80s and not
controversy.
Yeah, I remember
huge
that.
controversy, and they were trying to edit it out, but they couldn't because that was
It's,
kind of like the epic scene where he goes up to Booth and his dad, and they kind of
mhm.
have
He
that like,
pushes what's her name aside, Pamela
Yeah,
yeah,
aside, and goes to the.
Pamela,
I
yeah.
thought that was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
so it turns out it's a great movie all around.
I
Uh,
agree.
Spirit Geek. What about you?
I really do enjoy this movie, and if you want a movie to watch and watch some shitty basketball being played, this is definitely the movie for
10
you.
white people. Well,
Yeah,
no, I think
not
there was a black guy on the team.
oh, on the other team. I'm
On the
like,
other
this
team,
is
yeah, he was on the
There
other
was
team.
that one Skiles ran into
yeah.
in the locker room.
The
I'm,
Beavers didn't have anybody. Beavers were
no,
terrible.
the Beavers were bald of black people. They weren't
They
there.
were terrible. They were
Yeah.
terrible basketball players.
but I enjoy this movie. It was fun. It's fun watch. It has the surfing on the car, which I enjoy. It
Man, you know
has
how popular that shit was.
oh,
It
everybody
just
wanted
as
to do it.
Yeah.
look. So I have to say something. Sorry to interrupt
Go
you,
go no, go ahead.
but Michael J. Fox started so many trends in the '80s with skateboarding on the back of a fucking car
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
did,
Yep.
and
Oh,
which
you
I
did?
never. Oh
Oh
yes,
yeah. Oh
oh
yeah.
yes, he knows. Bearded King knows. Yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
did.
Did you
Because I
too,
was
Kevin, or no?
And I was too fat to ride a skateboard, dude. I tried, but
no,
no,
it was me and my other friend, my other neighbor. We tried it, and then he hit a rock and right in his face.
yeah.
It didn't turn out very good, but we never did it after that again. Um, but then yeah, and then he turns up, surfing on the top of a van. Now there was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people I know that tried this in the '80s. Of course,
Yeah.
I didn't own a van at all. But yeah, it was. I think he started those two trends that became popular at the time, just to watch a movie and then, hey, shit, I want to try that. It looks
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That kind of deal. Sorry. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead,
no, no
Kevin.
problem. Like I said, this is one of those movies. It's a fun watch. Like I said, it's crappy basketball. It feels like a B movie sometimes because it's
Yeah, it
not
does.
it's not really filmed great, and the actors that are supposed to be in high school are like it feels like they're in their 30s. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think they
it,
were
it,
late 20s, maybe mid
yeah,
20s.
it felt like if they were in high school, they were smoking 2 packs of Marlboros a day. That's what was
Especially
going on.
Styles.
Yeah. And then Chubbs. I mean, Chubbs was. I mean, there's no way that dude's in high school. I'm telling you. Um, but yeah, it's a
Seems like
fun watch
Holton was.
though.
I don't know. Let me find out.
If you can separate that and still watch the movie, it's a great movie. It really is. I mean, it's a Michael J. Fox movie. I love it. Felix, man, what was your
So,
first impression?
Holton was 27.
There you go.
He was 27 when he filmed
27 when he did that.
that.
Kind of like a 90210. They're all in the freaking 30s.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great, and this is cliche, but coming of age movie. I really like the father son aspect of it. That gets overshadowed with the whole where he's a wolf, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
I like their moments. I like the dad. You could tell there's a couple times in the beginning he wants to tell him this might happen to you
Yeah.
beforehand,
Hmm.
and they always get interrupted. And they're always getting
It's
interrupted.
it's
The
that
same thing.
puberty, that boys and
Yeah.
girls puberty sex talk as a
Yep.
teenager.
I don't
Same
want to
thing
have
with
it, but
Yeah.
Booth too. You could tell she had it from the get go. Even
oh
when she
yeah,
lies and says she gets his name and goes in the closet with
Oh
him.
yeah. She
I
had a
mean, she,
thing
she
for him.
kept setting it
yeah.
up. She put it out there,
And
and you
then she don't
just.
like it rough. What's up with that?
Yeah. She got claws to her
I mean,
back.
didn't you see
Yeah,
that scratch though, man? That
yeah,
scratch
I
was
saw it.
crazy. But I liked at the end where the dad was there for him again,
Yeah.
and he makes the principal piss himself again
Yeah,
because that's what
yes,
happened back in the day. And
Yeah.
if you've seen it already, you're like, why is this principal have it out for him? But you get
That's
why,
why.
because it stems
yeah.
from the past. And I really like the aspect of him and his dad a lot. I really did. I know that wasn't a
Good.
big part of the
Yeah.
movie, but
There's a
that
great
that
moral to the story.
yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want one of those Teen Wolf shirts that they made.
You know
You
what,
know?
dude? On my notes
You
right
can
here,
find it. I'm sure you can
Yeah.
find them.
on my
I,
notes right here, I have Styles shirts, and then in the very beginning, he wore one that says "Life sucks and then you die," and then he has another one that says, "What are you looking at, Dick Nose?" And they
yeah,
with
Dick
the
Yeah. I
knows.
Teen
like that
Wolf
shirt.
shirt to the Teen Wolf shirts. I was
Yeah,
like, I got to make some of those shirts, man. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking at, Dick Nose? I like that one.
yeah. All right, Mikey the Freak. Why don't we
That's
go ahead
funny.
and give our ratings? Go ahead
Yeah,
and
I mean,
rate this movie.
this is I mean, it's a solid 8 movie. Very fun, entertaining. It has a moral to the story, so there is a good
That's what I like.
storyline
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
It's a fun Michael J. Fox movie. I mean, what you can't beat Michael J. Fox in the '80s. I mean, he
Mm-mm.
was your leading man with every movie that he did in the late '80s, mid '80s, late
MTV.
'80s. So he was the hot one at that
Yep.
time. And even though that that it didn't gross a lot of money in the box office that I saw compared to what like Back to the Future did,
Hmm.
but yeah, fun, family, entertaining. Um, it's like those people in high school. You went to the
Yeah.
part you went to
Yeah.
those parties
with all of them,
that
everyone.
instead
You
of like
just
a
the
spin the
crazy
bottle that
one.
you hide in the
Yeah,
closet. Like we went to those kind of stupid ass
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah.
We had those parties. We had a shitty basketball team.
Yeah.
You know
were
what
they
I
called
mean?
the Beavers too?
No, it
No.
wasn't the Beavers. We had Beavers though. But it was
No
but yeah, but
comment.
we went to I know. We we kind of could relate to my
Hmm.
high school and any high school at
Yeah.
that. You can kind of
Yeah,
relate to that. And you're like, man, that was the in crowd, the popular kids, and then you had the nerds, and then it went from the nerds to now they became popular just
Hmm.
yeah,
because something
yeah.
that they did. So yeah, you can kind of relate to that, and that's why I think that of all ages would enjoy it just to have fun and joke and entertaining and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm giving it a solid 8. What
8.
about you, Bearded Geek?
I think I want to give it a 7.5.
Mhm.
7.5. I give it a little lower score just because of the cinematography of it. It's not. It feels like a B movie just by the way it was shot and some of the acting in it's not the
Oh yeah, he didn't
best.
do a lot of those stunts
Yeah,
on all that. Yeah, you can
yeah.
tell.
You can tell the good actors from the bad in this one. I mean,
Yeah.
it was you could it's definitely separated. So 7.5, but it's still enjoyable. It's still funny. It still has a great story. It's not scary. It's one of those fun type movies.
Yeah.
And as I'm saying this, I had the vision. Did they have a Teen Wolf cartoon? I feel like they had a
Yes.
Teen
Yeah.
Wolf cartoon.
This spawned a Teen Wolf cartoon, Teen Wolf 2 with Jason Bateman, and the MTV show from a few years back. There
Okay.
was a cartoon.
Okay. So I am remembering right. So
Yeah.
old brain still works a little bit. All right. But yeah, 7.5 for me. Felix, how about you?
For me, going back a little bit on the dad and son part of it, in the beginning, he does tell him, "With great power comes great
Yeah.
Yeah.
responsibility."
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
that's something
Spider-Man.
Uncle Ben tells Peter Parker, Spider Man.
Yeah, I
So that
know.
that kind of goes with that. The movie did open at number two behind Back to the Future,
Oh,
so it was the
he
top
was
of
one and two.
his property. Yeah, there were one and two. It did gross 80 million on
Yeah.
two sources. One says 1 million budget. One says 4 million budget. I think it was somewhere between there, but it did do 80 million, which is
That's
I thought I
yeah,
that
saw
it's not a
that's a good
bomb.
gross. That's a good
Yeah.
gross.
opening
Um,
weekend at 6 million.
yeah, it was low, but
He's
the
talking about the
total
budget. He's talking about the budget for the movie.
the total gross was
Yeah.
80 million
Oh
worldwide.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have the budget on this one.
Yeah, that's fine. So
And
what's
then speaking of Back to the Future, it was getting filmed literally with the other actor. I forget his name before he was fired. So he was literally doing this.
Stoltz?
Oh, Eric
Yeah.
Stoltz.
Yes, Stoltz. He was doing this between Family Ties, was on a hiatus because the main lady was pregnant, and then he
Hmm.
turned around and went and did Back to the Future. So he was really busy at this point. But
Oh yeah.
back to this movie itself, Kevin nailed it with a 7.5. As soon as he said it, I'm like, that's my score as well.
Yeah.
It has a lot of heart. It has more heart than what I remember, and
Mhm.
I was actually pleasantly surprised at it again. I'm like, I haven't seen this since the '80s, and I'm glad I got a chance to see it again.
So one thing we were talking about him filming Back to the Future too. One of the trivia things on here
I'm
was
doing
that.
trivia. I'm doing trivia, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
one of
You got
my
that one. So
yeah.
you probably see it. You probably see it.
It's
You're
the
gonna
very
say
first
it.
one. It's the very first one.
Absolutely.
Scott Howard's Michael J. Fox's house was located on the same block
They
as
used the same
George
hot, yeah,
McFly and Lorraine Baines' house
Ain't
from
that
Back to
some
the
yeah.
shit?
Future.
So they just said, you know what? Fuck it. We'll film another movie. You ain't gotta go nowhere.
Yeah.
Stay here. we'll film this movie. You know what? Just come back. You've already used this treat. Let's do this one again.
So the entire production only took 21 days.
Days, yeah.
And it shows. It
Do,
shows.
do you have like when he's rounding the corner and he's handstanding on top of the van? Does that not look like?
It's a dummy.
No,
I
no, no.
think it's
I
a.
know, but no. Does that not when he's around in the corner? Does that not look like the corner where the Cafe 80s?
It may be.
The
I don't
fee,
know.
I don't know. It looked very similar. I'm like, wait, is that the same location again? I don't know.
Speaking of
the
the van part, though, too, they said that Styles was actually literally doing it. It wasn't a stunt double or anything. That he was wired to it from his waist down,
I can
or
believe
something
that.
like that,
Yeah.
on the van when he was up there doing his thing.
Jerry Levine said that decades later, he's still known all over the world for playing Styles. One one time, a fan of the film recognized him at a Western Wall in Jerusalem.
That's
Holy
what's up.
shit, that's crazy. But he was
I,
probably American. He's like, oh hey, I know you.
let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I have for trivia. Felix, did you actually do any music for the show soundtrack?
Yeah, the soundtrack. All I found, like I said in the very beginning. Sorry about that, Mikey. But "Surfing USA" by the Beach Boys came out March 25th, 1963, and they used it twice, obviously, when they were
Right.
both on top of the van. Yeah, but pretty much hit all my notes, dude. It spawned the cartoon Teen Wolf 2 MTV. It took 21 days to film. It took 4 hours to apply the makeup on Michael J. Fox and his dad.
Oh wow.
And
I can see
yeah,
that. Yeah.
they the director. Oh, the heartbeat. Yeah, the directing was bad. The cinematography was bad, like Kevin was saying. But the heartbeat aspect of it, like in the very beginning, I think they used it way too much. But I think it was effective because when it slows down and you can hear his heartbeat, I
Uh,
think it does it in the middle and then again at the
Yeah.
end.
It was
It
effective.
does. Yeah, it's effective pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I had. Pretty much, and no
Right.
other songs, no other besides the Beach
Cool.
Boys.
All right, Mikey, what do you have for related reels?
yeah, so I did go with Jerry Levine, which plays Styles. He was in Born on 4th of July
Mhm.
with
Tom Cruise.
yes, sorry, Tom Cruise. K9 with John Belushi, he was in that, and I actually liked him better in Iron Eagle with Lou Gossett Jr. and
Oh,
Jason
yeah,
Dietrich.
that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, he was another sidekick, one of those supporting actors to Jason Dietrich. But yeah, a great. I thought he was great in Iron Eagle. And then I put Matt Adler. Matt Adler was the other friend. My mind went blank. I'm sorry, I didn't write his name down. Um, hold on, I get you. I get you. I get you. Lewis, Lewis, the
Lewis.
quiet one.
Oh yeah.
The Lewis. So he was in Dream a Little Dream with the Coreys. He did a lot of voiceover work in the '90s as well. But I also liked him. He was doing Flight of the Navigator. He was the older brother when he went into the future.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so he did Flight of the Navigator then. And of course, Michael J. Fox. We've done Michael J. Fox so many different times, so many movies with our podcasts. But I always talk about, with this one, all the Back to the Futures, everything
Mhm.
Back to the Future, as you can see behind the Bearded Geek. Where
The
Back to
shrine, if you will.
yeah,
Yeah.
mine's over in the corner near my
Yeah.
Super Troopers
And off
poster
screen.
over here
Yeah. It's off
off
screen.
screen. And then Doc Hollywood,
Love
always
him
a
in
cute
Doc
family
Hollywood. Yeah.
movie. It's a great movie. And I liked him in Midnight Madness with David Naughton, which was one of his first movies. Michael J. Fox was in Midnight Madness. So if you've ever seen Midnight Madness and find it streaming anywhere, buy it, rent it. I thought it's a great a bunch of huge '80s actors in
Yeah.
Midnight Madness.
All right.
So that's a great
And
movie.
I'd be remiss to remind you of Frighteners. So I love him in Frighteners.
Gunfighters in
Yeah.
our podcast, of
Yeah.
course.
All right. As we come to a close, Felix, where can people
What
find
up,
you
G?
on your podcasts?
I got this podcast going on. You might know a little bit about it, Kevin. But the Mod Squad Network, you can any podcast out there on YouTube, the Mod Squad Network. We have a wrestling show, we have a horror show, we have a movie talk show, we
A
got a
horror show.
gaming show coming up. We yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
my phone always picks it up like that too.
Yeah.
And every Saturday night we have a live where there's a giveaway. There's always a giveaway when we do pop-up lives and lives. So come on and watch us, man.
Yep. Mod Squad Network, you can find the description you can find the link in the description, I should say. All right. Well, I do believe that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak, you know what? Before I do that, if you like this video, make sure you give us a good old thumb and hit that like and subscribe. Do all the YouTuber things. If you're listening to us on your ears through podcast, check us out on YouTube and give us a good old thumb and like, share, all that good stuff. Now, as we come to a close, for Mikey the Freak and Felix, I am the Bearded Geek / Kevin saying, saying keep it retro, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.